Now let me go to some big news involving college sports because y'all need to hear about this. The NCAA and its five power conferences have agreed to allow schools to directly pay players. For the first time in a 100-plus year history of college sports, the NCAA and its leagues are moving forward with a multi-billion-dollar agreement to settle three pending federal antitrust cases. Sources told ESPN the NCAA agreed to pay more than $2.7 billion in damages over 10 years to past and current athletes. The parties have also agreed to a revenue-sharing plan allowing each school to share roughly $20 million per year with its athletes. You can see some of the key points of the settlements right there on the screen between the NCAA and the Power Five conferences. Athletes can be paid directly by schools for the first time in college sports history. Ruling settles three impending federal antitrust lawsuits. The number is $2.77 billion to be exact. Revenue sharing plan, all Division I athletes dating back to 2016 are included. Athletes can no longer sue NCAA for antitrust violations. This is not the end of this. Let's get this out the way. This is long overdue. The NCAA and these respective institutions under their umbrella have been taking advantage of student athletes for ages. And I know that all ethnic groups have been included, and I get that. But we all know what we talk about here. We talk about basketball and football, which is vast majority of them happen to be black. You were taking advantage of the desolate and disenfranchised. And in flagrant fashion, you had an institution, you had lawyers, you had administrators, you had educators, you had everybody on one side going up against a bunch of kids. They didn't stand a chance. And if you're the NCAA, you should be ashamed of yourself. You've been exploiting these kids for years. This ruling is important. It's not just because you won a case for $2.77 billion. It's the fact that you have to retroactively go about the business of compensating athletes from the past you took advantage of. And that's going to give us a look into exactly the insidious things that you were doing to get your way at the expense of kids and their families, pocketing all of this money, keeping all of this money, taking all of this money. But if a kid went into a damn bookstore and his name was on the damn jersey and the book clerk or somebody wanted to give him a jersey, that was an NCAA violation. See how extreme they were? You making all of this money, but a kid couldn't get his family to fly into town to watch him, or pay for gas for them to drive to see him, or fly home for Christmas or Thanksgiving to spend time with his family. But y'all old asses were doing it. You ain't bounce a ball, you ain't catch a touchdown. And in the process of doing all of that, you were denying them representation. They didn't have representation like they're about to have. There were no agents allowed like it is now with name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal. There was no union. There was no representation. You got away with everything. And now chickens are coming home to roost. The NCAA brought this on themselves. They brought this on themselves. They brought this on themselves. Everybody talk about arrogance, arrogance. My man Paul Feinbaum was on the show with me on First Take, my day job, on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to noon. He was on the air with me and Jay Williams this early this morning, talking about the arrogance of the NCAA, the arrogance of them. It wasn't arrogance that kept them fighting this fight until they had no more fight left in them. It was fear, because they knew that once the Pandora's box opened, we would find out all the damn skeletons they had up in there. We're about to find out a hell of a lot more about what the NCAA and the institutions under their umbrella were doing to exploit and take advantage of these athletes. We're about to find out a whole lot of dirt. And I'm here for it. I want to know it all. Because I'm not speaking about individuals, but as an institution, they ain't worth a damn. They never have been. And now we're going to see college sports, essentially, particularly college football, reduced to two power conferences, essentially. Eventually it's going to happen. Don't give me the Big 12 and all of this. It's the SEC and the Big 10. We all know that's what it's going to come to. That's where all the money's going to go. Everybody else is going to have it name, image, and likeness. And by the way, don't give me these mid-level schools. You got 12 playoff teams, a lot of whatever. I'll be damned if 10 of them ain't going to be from the SEC and the Big 10. We ain't trying to hear it. Because we know that's where the best teams are going to be, because they're going to have the best talent that money can buy. And it's going to be totally legal. They brought this on themselves. Hopefully the NCAA comes tumbling down to a level of humility that they will have to not only accept but fully embrace, because their dirt will be exposed. We're seeing it happen with P. Diddy right now. And in the legal, financial apparatus, we're seeing it happen to the NCAA before our very eyes. They brought this on themselves.